Attention passionate Washington Commanders fans. Latest news, something big is happening in the NFC East and it could change the game. We're talking about a direct impact on Washington Commanders' path to another Super Bowl run, a power shift that could leave a division rival stumbling for years. We're bringing this to you firsthand. But before that, if you're a true Washington Commanders fan, subscribe to the channel to strengthen this passion even more. Show that you're also part of this family. Let's help each other reach 1,000 subscribers. Share with YOUR, FRIENDS and Washington, Commanders FANS. Let's get to the news all right. Folks, buckle up because what I'm about to tell you could be one of the most significant rumors we've seen in recent NFL history, and it directly involves the Washington Commanders. Word from sources like Adam Schefter and other insiders is pointing towards a blockbuster trade that has the potential to shake up not just the NFC East, but possibly the entire NFC landscape. And it's centered around none other than CeeDee Lamb, the Dallas Cowboys star wide receiver, who's been making waves all season long. Now, let's set the scene here. The Cowboys are currently sitting at a 4-5 record for the 2025 season, and that's not exactly what they envisioned when they started out. They're dealing with some serious cap issues, with about $18.2 million in cap space, and they're also trying to figure out how to rebuild their defensive line after a series of injuries. The deadline for trades is coming up fast, set for November 4th, and that's when things are expected to heat up. The buzz is that Dallas is actively exploring ways to improve their roster, but one of the most talked about rumors involves trading CeeDee Lamb to the Washington Commanders in exchange for a first-round pick in the 2026 NFL Draft. Now, I know what some of you might be thinking. Gosh, isn't that a lot to give up for a receiver? Well, here's the thing. Lamb isn't just any receiver. He's an all-pro player in 2024, and he's been absolutely dominant this season. As of 2025, he's put up 52 receptions for 748 yards and 7 touchdowns, averaging 4 yards per catch with a PFF grade of 92. One Lamb is a true game changer, especially with his elite route running, which PFF rates at 91. 5 against man coverage, making him one of the most dangerous receivers in the league. His ability to create separation and rack up yards after the catch, YAC, is off the charts, with an average of 5.8 yards per attempt and forcing 14 missed tackles. He's the kind of weapon that elevates an entire offense, and that's exactly what the Commanders need right now. But the Cowboys are in a tricky spot. Not only are they pressed for cap space, especially with Prescott's hefty $55 million cap hit, but their offensive line is also struggling, allowing about 30 sacks per game. They're trying to extend Prescott, but that's going to eat up more cap room. Plus, their aerial attack has been somewhat limited this year, averaging around 218 passing yards per game, which isn't quite enough when your division rivals are putting up big numbers. Some analysts compare this potential Lamb trade to what the Bills did when they traded Stefon Diggs, which initially seemed like a good move, but ended up weakening their passing game. The Cowboys might be worried about losing their top weapon, especially with defenses in the NFC East becoming increasingly tough. Now, shifting gears to Washington, this trade could be a game changer for the Commanders. Sitting at a solid 5-4 record, they're still in the playoff hunt, but their wide receiver depth is a bit thin. Dotson is on IR, and McLaurin has been doing his best with 612 yards this season, but adding Lamb would take their offense to a completely new level. The projections are eye-popping. If Lamb joins Washington, he could surpass 300 yards for the season, and his EPA per pass attempt would surge by about 18%. That kind of production alongside McLaurin, who's been a reliable target, would stretch the field and give the Commanders a much-needed boost in explosiveness. Lamb's presence would complement McLaurin perfectly. The duo would make an incredible pair stretching the field, with a combined YAC of around 10 yards per attempt, easing the pressure on the run game, which has been averaging just 9 yards per carry. This would open up more opportunities for Sam Howell to throw, especially in critical third-down situations. And let's not forget the positive ripple effect on the defense. When your offense maintains possession longer and scores more points, your defense gets more rest, more time to set up, and overall, the team gains a vital edge. The Commanders' defense, which is allowing about 19 points per game, would benefit from longer possessions and more time to rest, ultimately helping them tighten up against potent offenses. Now looking at the bigger picture, if the Commanders manage to land Lamb, the odds of them making a deep playoff run skyrocket. Sportsbooks are already adjusting their Super Bowl odds, with Washington's chances jumping from +7,500 to +3,000. That's a huge swing, and it's all because Lamb is considered a true X-factor, a player who can tip the scales in high-stakes games. His historic playoff EPA per root of +0.7 and a 22% increase in win probability against top defenses like the 49ers make him the type of weapon that can turn the tide of a postseason game. For a team like Washington, which has been building steadily and has the talent on defense and at other positions, adding a player like Lamb could push them from a good team to a legitimate Super Bowl contender. And let's not forget the division implications. The NFC East is always a dogfight, and if Washington pulls off this trade, they'd be not just competing but potentially dominating the division. Cowboys without Lamb might struggle to keep pace, especially if they're unable to shore up their offensive line or find a way to replace his production. The Eagles and Giants are also formidable, but a Lamb-led Commanders could be the team that finally breaks through and claims the crown. It's about adding that dynamic, game-changing talent that can elevate the entire team and serve as a rallying point for fans and players alike. Now, I know some of you are probably wondering about the timing and the risks involved. Trading your top receiver isn't a decision taken lightly, especially when you're in the playoff hunt. But teams often have to make bold moves to push over the edge. The deadline looming in early November makes this not just a rumor but a real possibility. The Cowboys might see this as a necessary move to rebuild quickly and address their cap and injury issues, while the Commanders could see Lamb as that missing piece to finally get over the hump. Looking at the bigger picture, this potential trade would mark a turning point for Washington. It's not just about acquiring a star player. It's about signaling that the team is serious about competing at the highest level, about making a statement that they're here to stay. The fans would be electrified, and the players would be motivated knowing their team is making bold moves to chase Super Bowl glory. This is exactly the kind of move that could define a franchise's future, turning a promising season into one for the ages. And now, Washington Commanders fans, I want to hear from you. What's your take on this? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Your opinion matters so much to us and to the Washington Commanders. And don't forget, I'll be back soon with more updates, so stay tuned for the latest Washington Commanders news. Whether this trade happens or not, one thing is clear. The coming weeks will be crucial in shaping the future of this team, and you'll want to be right here with us, front and center, ready to break down every move, every play, and every moment of what could be a historic NFL season for Washington.